Hello?
We return for the third and final game in this best of three as both teams loading up once again. We jump into the draft.
The, the draft is, as the cool kids say it, the draft in this final game of the round of 16 between Scuttle Squad, Academy, and KVM Mechelen. They are going head to head. It is 1-1. Both games that they won very cleanly. So we haven't really had this very close game where it goes until the end. But this time, both teams really need to bag up the win. Oli has been beasting with Hecarim. I wonder if For Elements is gonna let that pick through. Nope.
Nope.
They say this time we will respect you enough. We don't want that tanky monster pony in our face. They pick it out. So I wonder what he will play for us, because we haven't seen much else from him today.
Yeah, today we haven't seen a lot of other picks from him. As you said, Seraphine gets taken away as the last ban on the side of KVM. First pick, possibly another Kai'Sa. There it is, as it was not banned away. And of course, Maoki plays a very good Kai'Sa, but so does Drago. So leaving that open would definitely result in a Kai'Sa pick on the other side, as they do give it away. And the first game they did, they gave it away as well, and they lost bottom lane pretty hard. Rakan probably not going to be picked up this time around, as Mortar is waiting really long. Eventually, they do go for Senna 80 carry, so we haven't seen Drago play that yet, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, with the new Kraken Slayer Ginsu's build, as we've talked about earlier, can be potentially very strong. And now Mortar looking at Shen to blind pick that in the top lane. It is relatively blind pickable. Pretty safe pick. But they do eventually switch over to the Azir. And something I wanted to say is that maybe Ollie was going to go for Talia, but now it gets taken away by Absent Desire.
And I feel like KV Mechelen is really banking on the late game here. We've seen Senna a few times today. We had a really strong Senna from Nilan in Sector 1, who had 150 stacks at some point with the game lasting so long. And last game, Maoki, Senna, he couldn't get stacks. He was maybe at 1 stack a minute at some point, and then you're really lacking as an AD carry Senna because you don't have the range. You're not mobile. You can get caught out so easily. So you really need that at some point. Admawodo gets his Renekton here, which is his main champion, as we said. 800k mastery. I don't think we'll see the Teemo.
But I hope so.
I would love it, but
Oh.
that would be crazy. They are going for the Gragas, which
Boring.
is, as we know, insanely hard to lane against. He can
Very
just
obnoxious.
so freely trade because of the body slam into the grasp of the Undying, which stuns you just long enough so you can't retaliate at all. So we'll see how Admawodo handles that lane. So it is definitely a more tanky lineup for KV Mechelen, with Mortar not gonna play a Jax, Wukong, or Kami, or Gragas could still go to the jungle if they leave the Jax open, thinking that Gragas is going top. Maybe it's all a ruse.
Maybe it's all a ruse. They take away the Nautilus because, of course, Nautilus Kai'Sa, a very strong combination. Of course, Mahoney still has a Thresh, which is a potentially strong combo as well. Alistair is in there to frontline and lock people down for his AD carry to get those stacks off. Also, the Renekton Talia, a very, very, very strong combination, as they decide to take away Udyr, Graves, and Nidalee from Ollie, and Talia from Ollie. So basically, I don't know what he has left here. Maybe Elise?
It's so funny if he plays Gragas now and they're just banning all his junglers. That would
That
be
would
amazing.
actually be great. Gragas jungle is
Then
definitely possible.
they really bamboozled them next level, but too bad. I don't think we'll see Mortar playing Jax against the Renekton. I feel like that is not the matchup that you want
Yeah.
with that pick, but it would still be amazing to see his Jax though, because we haven't had the pleasure to so far. Ari being hovered here for the mid lane has potential against Azir, but Twisted Fate they are going for those globals again. Showed earlier with Galio that they're strong with it, and now they're gonna try to do the same with Twisted Fate. Has of course that click on stun with the gold card that can be so
Ooh.
valuable in this game. And the Rel being hovered might be a good option because they do lack
He's
something
played.
of a front line.
Yeah, he's played. Well, we talked about that issue earlier with Renekton. So
Yeah, but only Renekton is only Renekton, of
that's
course.
true. That's still
We
only
have
a Renekton. And at this point, with the gold card in the mid lane, the click on stun from Renekton as well in top lane, and the potential lockdown from Mahonix on Rel in the bottom lane, Talia's going to have a relatively simple time to actually seismic shove people backwards. And Jarvan does come through eventually. We saw him play it earlier today as well. So, we probably should have known that. But, eventually he picks up the Jarvan. Um, in combination with the Azir and the Leona, even the Senna, of course, very strong. They, of course, need to be careful that the explosive cask doesn't just knock everybody out of the Jarvan. Not, little communication errors there. But once again, KVM drafts what we know they want to draft. 5v5, team fighting, engage.
And what we see here are some killer lanes, especially on the side of 4 elements. You have a Talia Renekton combo, which is so devastating if you get stunned. So Mortar will have to respect this Renekton pick and make sure that he doesn't whiff his body slam at the wrong time, because you can easy trade in the lane with that skill, but if you waste it, and Renekton can after that just dash stun you into the knockback in all the bombs from Talia, you're gonna have a bad time. So you need to make sure that you know where this jungler is at all times. And besides that, Twisted Fate, of course. He can gank any lane. Rel has so much CC. There is setup for days. So I wonder how they are going to play this. If Scuttle Quad can get an early lead, we know that KVM Mechelen tends to struggle.
I feel like there's a lot of potential with the Twisted Fate Renekton Talia combination, and then of course the Rel. If Twisted Fate has his Destiny up and he roams, he uses ult to go top lane, for example, as Talia is roaming there as well. Talia can wall the Renekton off. If he dashes over, then there's still, of course, the Twisted Fate using his ultimate gold card, Seismic shoving them back over the wall, just doing so much damage to the Gragas, which, sorry, I was talking about Renekton, I meant Gragas, of course. So there's a lot of lockdown potential there. Same goes for the bottom lane. If Twisted Fate and Talia both go towards the bottom lane, Destiny, gold card, engage from Rel, Seismic shove from Talia. There's so much potential burst there on the side of Scuttle Squad here that I'm very, very curious to see how they're going to execute this plan. It seems pretty clear what they want to do with their team. And then, of course, on the other side, we have strong laners and in Gragas, but we have a strong late game with Azir and Senna. And then the team fighting, of course, as always, what we're used to with KVM.
I'm still a bit surprised that they did not ban Kai'Sa, because you can almost know for certain that that would be a first pick for 4 elements here. And then you go for a fairly tanky lineup as well with Gragas, Jarvan, Leona. Kai'Sa fares good against tanks. I mean, she can melt it. She has the passive. She has the AP AD combo as well, which makes it hard to build against. So yeah, that surprised me a little bit from KV Mechelen that they do not go for that and instead ban away Aphelios. Um, I feel like Kai'Sa is stronger at this point than Aphelios. I would be less scared of that, but maybe KV Mechelen knows how to play against the pick this time around, because of course Mauki had a really, really solid first game. And Mandrago Senna, we haven't seen it before. Can he get some stacks in the lane? He is playing against a melee support that is Rel, which is always good because you can freely arrest it. Leona can stand in front of you if they engage, so you do have some tools. But we'll see how he does it on that champion, because it's not really the I assassinate you with Kai'Sa and Samira as we've seen him do before.
It's going to be very interesting to see how both teams are going to play this one out, which is, of course, in this third game, best of 3 between the 4 Elements Scuttle Squad Academy team and KVM Esports Academy, as they've both won one game up till now. It is 1-1, which, you know, that's math and logic combined. Let's go. Game 1 went to Scuttle Squad, Game 2 went to KVM, and now, of course, Game 3 for the win or the loss, depending what side you're on. And the winner goes through to tomorrow's quarterfinals at 12 o'clock. The loser falls off, goes home, and gets to try again next week. And it would actually be pretty sick. Ion Squad has been kicked out, Ion Squad Academy, by Team Thrill in another round of 16. They lost 2-0 to Team Thrill Academy, which is pretty insane because Ion Squad, I believe, won the first Open Tour qualifier, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then last week, Scuttle Squad actually made it to the finals and were the runner-up. So imagine KVM beating them as well. You know, that would be insane with the runner-up of last week getting knocked out in round of 16, as well as the winner of the first week. Of course, we're going to have to see, but just imagine that happening.
And overall, I feel like the teams are getting more close to each other as we see how many one games we have. I believe that there are like 5 games now still going on in their third match, which is really something. Usually there is one team that is stronger than the other one and makes it fairly easy in a 2-0. But all the players are growing. They're getting a few swaps around here and there. And that makes, of course, for a more interesting Open Tour in general, because the games are closer. And I hope that we will see it here as well, that these teams go head to head, because they need to. I mean, last game, 4 Elements was a little bit in their comfort zone. They won the first game fairly easily, let's say, and they know, okay, we're going to do it again, and then it's 2-0, and we don't have anything to lose. Now it's different. They got beaten by KV Mechelen in overwhelming fashion. They know they cannot underestimate them, and that this is the game to win. Else, you don't need to play again tomorrow. So we'll see how they do that as we blast into the loading screen for this last game.
Boom, 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 boom. Final game. Very, very exciting to see which of these two guys, which of these two teams will be able to push through into the quarterfinals, and which of these two teams is going to have to go home. And looking at the runes and masterings, nothing too crazy, nothing too insane. Everything looks pretty normal. Nothing out of the ordinary just quite yet. As Kai'Sa, of course, against the Leona, oftentimes we see the AD carries going for cleanse this game as well, which is a pretty smart pickup against the Gragas as well. I'm just interested to see which lane Scuttle Squad is actually going to focus here with their jungler. I feel like top lane is probably the way to go because it's the easiest stun to hit, you know, combined with the level 6 from Jenny on that Twisted Fate. But we're going to have to see where they go as we are loaded into this third and final game of the best of 3. Both teams running towards the river. Pings are coming through. Looks like a possible invade.
I really hope so, because of course the Wall of China is a little bit boring, but it does look like they are going to do that. However, Rel is following on the top side. They might go for a late invade like before, or oh, she's jumping over. Next level strats.
Ooh, next level strats indeed as Gragas uses body slam onto
What they don't know.
Who they actually don't know. As Rel is gonna jump in onto Ollie. He's gonna need to use his flash. The ignite's gonna come through. It's gonna be boom! First blood. Insane. Wow. Okay, I've never seen that before.
No, that is crazy. Next level from a Honix here. Just hops over the wall. They meet Gragas, so on the top side with Renekton, so they know, okay, they know he is here. They cannot go from the other side. And then he runs in, flings him into the damage with the pickup from Mauki of all people here with the Void Seeker. Gets the first blood on this Kai'Sa monster, of course, that we know in later stages of the game. Yeah, those are style points for 4 Element Scuttle Squad right off the bat here.
Yep, Mahonix on Rel here, jumping over the wall, doing the level 1 cheese shenanigan moves, which is pretty crazy. I feel like Ollie probably would have died against the Ignite regardless, but of course, a good job by Mauki picking that one up with the Void Seeker as they're going to go hard onto Mindrago instantly at level 1. He's going to go really low. The flash from from Mauki is going to be saved here. As the Ignite, of course, already has been used. And look at that insane amount of damage. The extra longsword on Mauki's Kai'Sa. And then the Engage from Mahonix puts them ahead in lane very early on.
I feel like Rel is a champion that has been a little bit underwhelming with its release.
Sorry.
I'll forgive you. Which has been a little bit underwhelming. No. I'll leave it at that. Absent Desire invading again with the Rel, and this is just Ollie being bullied in his own jungle. Bot lane from KVM Mechelen didn't move either, which is not something that we're used from them. Usually they are really the first one to react on the map play like that, but Ollie being punished 0 and 2, very hard for him to impact the game in a later stage, but now here they are again.
Oh, here they are indeed again with Natalia coming in from the gank behind the turret, flashes over the wall, or at least away from the turret. I didn't completely see that, and they pick up the 3rd kill already this game with the bind from Mindrago this time hitting Rel. The flash gonna come through, a killing 3-0-0 Kai'Sa, and we're 3 minutes into the game. This does not look great for KVM.
Bot lane is smurfing from 4 elements at this point, and definitely Mahonix. He's playing the Rel. He shows what the champion can do, because I've always had the feeling that it is a little bit sort of a Leona, but it's easier to play Leona. But yeah, what he does here, jumping over the wall, making the plays, following everywhere. Clean. Time to pick up the champion support players, because Mahonix, he knows what's up.
Yeah, he's showing what Rel can do in these lanes. As Mortar in the top lane, enjoying himself with a couple body slams. Of course, lately we have seen Gragas top maxing the body slam as well because of those trades. He body slams in, he auto attacks with Grass and die, and he walks away and there's nothing you can do. Which is basically the Alistar headbutt auto attack that existed in season 5? Question mark?
I don't know, it was super fun, but it was of course a little bit toxic because it was impossible to trade against, which I feel like they're gonna change Gragas in a sort of way, because it does not really encourage interactive gameplay. Being able just to bottle slam, auto attack, proc the grasp, even a Sheen if you're gonna go full Alistar, as you just said. That makes it so anti-fun. But that being said, Admaworo still being able to farm up. Of course, the Renekton main is there. He will know what to do. And as long as bot lane is so ahead, the other lanes don't really need to do anything, because they know Mauki will become this monster to carry us. And once Jenny is 6, we can really make those map plays. So this is not the moment where 4 Elements needs to be ahead or needs to make plays, but they are 4-0, so they still do.
It's pretty insane what's going on here in this early game, with Kai'Sa picking up 3 early kills. Also a 1-0 and 2 jungler there on the Talia, which can pump out a lot of damage if he actually is able to find the seismic shove, the knockback through his minefield. And at this point, as we talked about in the draft phase, with the Renekton, with the Twisted Fate, and with the Rel, looks pretty sweet for Talia to hit the damage there. As Morty's at a little bit of issues the longer this lane is taken with Admaworo's Crocodile. And first Drake of the game looks like that's going towards the boys on the Scuttle squad.
Still a body slam his face. And as you said, the pickup is here for that Drake for Scuttle squad. Not something KVM Mechelen likes to see. They really want to play around those early Drakes, but it is impossible for their bot lane to have any sort of pressure. any sort of prio in this lane at the moment because Maoki does so much damage and Mahoney's been playing really aggressively on this rel. They need to respect this and see that Ollie is in the wings. They are going to potentially bait and engage from them. Question is, will they fall for it?
It looks like they are gonna find the engage here eventually onto the Kaiser Maoki. Not gonna get engaged on well, he gets engaged on, but there's no follow-up eventually as Henk Henkerson needs to get out of there. One more he flashes out in a great manner. The Talia wall is gonna come through. Oh, he looked for the ult, doesn't work out quite the way he wanted to as Talia jumps off the wall a little bit earlier than he had anticipated. And with the Destiny coming through, they find another kill, this time on Henk's Azir.
And this is what 4Elements apparently likes. They really want those champions that can relocate themselves in a fight, during fight, after fight. And they do it again to kill Hank here on the mid lane, which puts a kill in the pocket of Jenny. 5-0 in total, almost 4k gold lead on 8 minutes. That is a really, really big lead at this point in the game. KVM, they will need to do something to get back here. I'm gonna look at my Drago. I can't say he's 15 stacks. It's impossible for him to get much out of that lane when there is so much threat on him, even though he's against the melee support and absent, just hovering topside to make sure that there is no help from Ollie, the Mortar, that this Renekton can just keep his lead in farm.
It's looking pretty crazy for the boys of Scuttle Squad. Sorry, at this point, as also they're picking up the first Herald. Where are they going to place the Herald? Top, mid, bot? What are we saying?
Well, it's easy to place it mid and just go roam with Twisted Fate, of course. He has the Destiny up in probably a little bit less than a minute. And then you can make those plays, them needing to stop the Herald, follow the Twisted Fate. It's a little bit too much to handle. The TP from Admabodo and Mortar are up again as well. So still the advantage for a map play is for 4Elements. We'll see what they do. At this point, both teams scale very well. The Azir Senna, we've seen it before. That is a deadly combo in the late game, but they need to get there, and maybe 4Elements is a team that can end a game early if they are ahead. But then they need to keep the snowball running. Oli not able to do much after the early invade. He is desperately trying to get back in the game.
Phoenix is spotted out there, gets binded as well. The ward into the second bush here by KVM is pretty good. That makes them always basically know where Mahonix is on this rel at all times in the lane. And also if they push up too far, it gives Mortar or Henk a possibility to TP in. Of course, Henk's TP is on cooldown right now. But Mortar possibly can come in with a TP. Of course, if he does, Renekton has free push in the top lane or just counter TPs. So not the most safe play, but potentially they need to do it anyways as Mahonix goes in with that ultimate, pulls in the Leona. Of course, very tanky as my Drago gonna try and do the damage back onto Mahonix. They kind of 50-50 the trade there and don't really get anything out of it.
Those are valuable trades for KVM because Mandrago can hit the enemy and get some stacks off, which he desperately needs, but there is the Weaver's Wall.
Oh, Maoki's gonna go really low, but with the shield, he's gonna be able to survive. Eventually, the TP is there, the flag and drag from Jarvan is there. He's looking for Cataclysm onto Kai'Sa, doesn't find it, but look at the damage there! And now Destiny is gonna come through. Teleport from Renekton is gonna come through as well. Finds the stun, sorry, couldn't find the word myself. Finds the stun, finds the damage, the gold card's gonna come through here. And now they put the Herald in the bottom lane after a huge global play by the Scuttle Squad. Another flash gonna come down here by Mortar. Needs to get out of this one with a couple more auto attacks from Jenny. He's gonna be able to get out eventually thanks to Mind Drago's bind. And the Scuttle Squad goes down. Second Drake of the game also gonna go towards 4Elements.
Everything goes in their favor. 7-0, almost 7k gold lead, and Admawodo TPing in for a kill as well. doesn't have to lane against the Gragas alone. Now he has a slight lead under his belt, and KVM Mechelen, yeah, they really want to scale, but they get jumped on. There is so much CC to be layered by for elements as well, that every skirmish someone gets caught, someone gets bursted down, and you can see the deficit that Ollie has. He jumps in with a cataclysm, but he just can't stay there. He's getting bursted down by the 4-0 Kai'Sa. Of course, he can't do much, and that is such a difference from the first game where he was playing Jarvan, when he could really dive in, be a threat, do damage, and they've taken that away from him with that cheeky little play in in the first invade. So we'll have to see how Ollie can get back in the game. He is going damage, however, this time.
Yeah, that's something I saw as well. He's looking to go for Gore Drinker this time around. He went for full tank Jarvan, or at least Sunfire Aegis on Jarvan the first game today, where he played Jarvan as well. And in that game, I felt like he needed to go more. We both felt like he needed to go more of a damage-heavy build, and he went for a tank build. Now I feel like a tank build might be better, but he's going for a damage build. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Mortar going to go really low. Talia just not going to find the damage. Of course, 1-0-4 at this point. No deaths yet on the side of Scuttle Squad, as a flash from Jenny gets him into safety, gets minion blocked. But now Jarvan is there. Does he have the Cataclysm? Yes, he does. Stopwatch is going to be used by Jenny, but Solar Flare is going to be there as well, blocking him down and giving Hank his first kill on Azir. And this is actually pretty huge for them. Not only do they get their first kill, giving them a moral boost, but it's on Azir, one of the two carries who wants to scale into that late game.
Rel just jumping over the wall, getting out of here, and they're gonna try to collect on Maoki. Of course, Solar Flare already being used. Can they hit the Zenith Blade here? It does.
Ooh, the Zenith Blade is going to connect, followed by the bind from Minddrago, but the Killer Instinct to get him potentially out of there. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it will. Mahonix is now the one being a focus here. Teleport from Greg is going to come through. Oh! The Seismic Shove is not going to be enough because of the perfectly timed E from Leona, getting him onto the Rel. They find the kill on him eventually. Now Destiny is going to be popped. They're going to use it as well. Either Leona or Azir are going to be focused. It's going to be the gold card onto Azir, but he has the flash to get away there. Another gold card going to be locked in. No more flash on this Twisted Fate to continue, and the entire KVM squad actually gets out.
This is great for KVM Mechelen. They were very much behind. They managed to get a play with 2 kills and not losing a single member of their roster, which is great. They get a kill on the Twisted Fate and on the Rel. Of course, Kai'Sa did get away with her shutdown, so that is something they missed. And yeah, there was a little bit too much all-in following the Zenith Blade, and she juked out Ollie's flag and drag as well with a great timed Killer Instinct. So well played by Maoki. But this does wake up for elements that this game isn't won yet. They had a lead, but there is still room for KVM Mechelen to make plays and to show that this best of 3 can go to anyone.
And the second Herald is going towards Scuttle Squad as well. The first one was popped in the bottom lane. We're able to eventually take down the bottom turret as well as first turret of the game, as now the second Herald is going to be picked up as well for them. The Flying Dragon is going to be used, another Cataclysm potentially going to be used as well, as the Dominus is going to be used by Adam Wodo, but a great explosive cast. Look at that heal though! Eventually not only healing himself, but even finding the kill onto Jarvan. It goes completely wrong for KVM. They thought they had the pick. 1 HP Reddington heals himself with the Golden Meek and gets out with a kill.
Great plays by them, managing also to break open this mid lane, getting the first and second turret with the Herald. That is great value. And Genie playing this Twisted Fate with the Rocket Belt, giving him that extra little bit of range to hit his gold card, what you don't expect. It's a little bit like the Rapid Fire cannon, of course, that we know on Twisted Fate has an extremely valuable range increase. This is the same, but of course it is a mythic item. It gives the value overall and very early power for landing the stun. So I am a big fan of this build. Makes him a little bit tankier as well. We'll see if he can keep making plays with that. Third Herald spawning. It is a Cloud
Third
Rift.
Herald.
Oh, what am I saying? Third Dragon. It is a Cloud Herald. He gives a Cloud buff.
Nice.
No. Gonna
Flying
pick up
Herald.
the Dragon here, uncontested. And that means that in 5 minutes they can go for their soul. We'll see if KVM Mechelen is able to contest it by then.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy, crazy soul for Renekton, an insane soul for Twisted Fate, a big soul for Kai'Sa as well. Even Rel, with the movement speed after the ult, is ridiculous. Whereas on the other side for KVM, not as strong, and they look for the dive onto Henk Henkerson. It's going to be enough with the flash engaged there from Mahonix. Bottom side turret number 2 is going to be taken down as well. And we're at a 17 minutes in, and it's an 11k gold lead for Scuttle Squad.
Yeah, that is a lead hard to come back from.
Let's say that again. We're at 17 minutes in, and it's 11k gold lead. What is this?
This is a disaster for KVM Mechelen as their base is being broken open by this 4 Elements lineup. They are definitely showing that their academy team can hold their own against the academy team of KVM Mechelen. Maybe something their main lineup needs to look at as well. They're struggling a little bit harder than this, but very, very nice plays from 4 Elements here. They're breaking it open. They're playing safe. They're also not risking things. They're not throwing the game unnecessarily. They're really playing calm, collected, getting the plays in when they need to. And yeah, we can only commend them for that because clean gameplay so far this game.
Yeah, Scuttle Squad definitely showing their strength here. And in this game, after having lost the previous game pretty hard, they they find the level 1 cheese, and then they're able to snowball actually off of that. And then Mahonix showing the power of Rel down in the bottom lane, finding a 2-man engage, and just snowballing the bottom lane lead off of that. 4-0-1 on the Kai'Sa already. 2-0-4 Talia. They have so much burst damage that and together with the CC that we spoke about so much already, it's going to be really difficult for KVM Esports Academy to actually be able to find a fight in their favor. Not only because of the CC and the burst damage, but also, of course, because they're really far behind at this point.
They're gonna look for Admiral Odo now. He's being caught. Is this enough to kill this unkillable croc?
It should be enough with the Solar Flare. He dashes over with the Gore Drinker heal. What a great shuffle. Look at the heals. What is happening?
Wow.
With a great shuffle eventually by Henk Henkerson's Azir, but those heals were insane, and they put so much stuff into the bottom lane that the top lane turret is gonna fall for free. And yes, Renekton dies, but even more gold goes towards Scuttle Squad. This is gonna be a 20-minute Baron for them.
They wasted so much more than they had to on that Baron. It took so long for Admawodo to fall. And this means that the rest of his team can go for the Baron. Are they in time to steal? No, it's a pickup for 4 Elements. Baron at 20 minutes is devastating. In 1 minute 30, their soul will come up, and then it's on to KVM to contest this. They can basically shove all the waves towards the base, rotate towards their Drake, pick up the soul, if they don't end the game before that, because of course they're so much stronger in the team fight.
It's gonna be really, really difficult for KVM to come back from this one. Of course, never give up. Even if you're this far behind, you never know what can happen. You never know what you're gonna find, and what throws the enemies is gonna throw at your face, basically. But it's looking really difficult, and it doesn't seem like Scuttle Squad is gonna give this one away anytime soon. And we spoke about it before in draft in the early game, where Mindrago and Henk Henkerson on their Azir, on their Senna, have to scale into the late game, and yes, they outscale the enemies. But at this point, they need 20 minutes to actually get close to where they want to be. And I don't think Scuttle Squad is going to wait 20 more minutes to close out this game.
Maybe if they ask real nicely,
Yeah, with a please, maybe.
with a please and a don't try hard, please.
Pretty please with a cherry on top.
You know, when you're in a ranked game and the other guy just says, "You try hard," and then I'm like, "Yeah, but it's ranked.
It's ranked.
Of course, I try hard."
That's what they're doing.
When would you try hard? I feel like 4Elements is try harding as well this game.
And they should.
Then they should definitely. Great Weavers while blocking off KVM makes them so easy to get to this turret, uncontested, and it's almost down. Chunking KVM in the process, and it's hard. KVM Mechelen, they need to engage, they do it, and they go for Mauki.
Ooh, they look for the Sword Flare, it's gonna go wide, but they find Mauki eventually. Shutdown is there for the Mauki. He goes down. Maybe they find a double kill. Yes, it's there. Mandrago picking up Mahonix as well. That's a great engage by KVM. They had to go for a proactive play. They had to go for an engage, and they find the one carry they needed to find. But Absent Desire and his top and mid laner going for the Soul Drake.
And this is something I don't understand. They get the fight and they don't all move forward to contest this Drake. They basically give up the soul after a one team fight, which is not something I like. Okay, they don't have the vision anywhere, but still, that was an important step to take in your comeback. However, this was still the best case scenario for KVM Mechelen in that fight. I mean, chances of them doing that were low, but they find the target, they find Mauki. They don't break open the mid lane. And okay, they lose a soul, but this was a great shutdown. So maybe they have some tools to work with for the next fight. We'll have to see if KVM Mechelen can repeat this.
If they can repeat this once or twice over, then they can start pushing down the mid lane, start going for more vision across the map, start looking for plays deeper into the map than only in front of their own base, which is basically where they have to stay for now. And also, of course, it would give them more time for Senna and Azir to scale more into the late game. 2 kills onto the Senna, has the 2 items that she needs to actually start doing something, so it is still possible, but it is still difficult.
It's insanely difficult. Gold lead is still 12k at this point. They are trying to do something, but of course they're constantly losing their jungle as well because they don't have any vision. Oli, I've never seen him more starved than this game on Jarvan. He has had such a rough game, but he's still trying to impact it as well. Not sure that the Gore Drinker was right, but there goes Mahonix.
The engage from Mahonix, great seismic shove as well as the turret gets destroyed by Kai'Sa. So much damage, so much people on top of each other. Great shuffle there by Hake. Henkerson finds the shutdown onto Talia, but it's not going to be enough as a double kill for Reddington is going to come out, but also a couple kills for KVM, a 3 for 3 in total with the Senna still being alive, Admamodo on his Reddington as well. However, turret has been taken in the mid lane, inhibitor in the bottom lane gets taken, or focused at least, with Mortar and Senna trying to defend and not going to be able to, as they let it be taken down. But another fight that actually went pretty well for KVM.
Passive, the Sun Disc from Azir was so important. He puts it down as a third falls, and they are able to
Great shuffle as well.
Play the fight equally. A good cleanse from Mandrago, make sure that he could secure the kill on Jenny, who panic flashed his face into the wall there, so that was something that could have been prevented. Eventually, 4Elements is able to pick up the turret and the inhibitor, so they still get more out of this than KVM Mechelen. But you do feel that they are getting like a toe in between the door. I wouldn't say a foot, because they are still tremendously behind. But they do show that it's not over yet. They are still fighting with everything they got. They want to make sure that they stay in this open tour this weekend. And they're doing everything that they can to make it happen. Mandrago starting to do some damage. He has 69 stacks, so 11 more for 80, and
another Baron.
4Elements starting this Baron and going insanely fast. This is definitely gonna go to them. There is not even a a try to contest this from KVM Mechelen. So this is gonna be hard for them with burned up minions having to hold off the siege. It will be an instant fight, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, and there is no way that they can just wait it off, give up these inhibitors, because then after that, the super minions are going to start pouring in from the bottom lane and the mid lane, as Weaver's Wall gets used to block off a couple of the KVM players. Senna is trying to stop the bottom lane minions from pushing into the base too hard. The top lane inhibitor turret gets taken down. Now the inhibitor itself gets focused, of course, as they need to look for another invade here. And Scuttle Squad showing some respect, showing that they're a bit scared of the engage, after the past two engage that they found with this Leona. Of course, we have seen Bisco play the Leona really well in previous games, and he's doing the same thing this time around. They're looking for Maoki's Kai'Sa, as now they are starting to split with this Baron the way they should. 5 people in the mid lane, top lane inhibitor gets taken down, mid lane inhibitor going to get taken down as well. Flash Solar Flare is not going to be enough. They look for Maoki. This is not good. Everything has been used and they can't find Maoki. He's going to be doing free damage, so much damage onto KVM, and this is going to be the game. The Flash Solar Flare goes wide, the Body Slam and the Flash and the Explosive Cast goes wide. Maoki is free to do what he wants, and he can just free damage the entire fight long. Scuttle Squad taking home the game, the match, the series, game set match, basically for Scuttle Squad, taking the series 2-1 and continuing to tomorrow's quarterfinals. KVM, alas for them, it is over after a very, very well fought game 3.
They tried their best. There were a few moments that they almost took a win in the fights, but it was mainly for elements that had the game in their hands from the start. Of course, Mahonix with the invade early with the 200 IQ play, which was amazing to see. And yeah, they never let the lead go. They just kept going. Of course, Maoki on the Kai'Sa, also a great impact, so much damage. He was the guy to take out in these games, and they were not able to do so. So, 4 elements picking up the win, going through to the next game tomorrow. And unfortunately, this weekend, this is where it ends for KV Mechelen.
Yeah, they fought hard in the last game, and even if we took a look at the damage graphs, Azir actually close to most damage dealt this game. Senna come in really close to Kai'Sa's damage as well, actually doing more than Kai'Sa damage-wise this game. But then there was the Renekton doing basically twice as much as his counterpart. Same goes for the no, basically that's it, because the rest of KVM actually fought really well. Not saying that Mortar didn't, of course, but Renekton being too much of a nuisance. 613 of Mawodo on his possibly favorite champion, and yeah, they went through. That's going to be it for us today. That's going to be it for us this weekend as well, as KVM, of course, locked out right now. And we're going to have to see what they can do next weekend in the 4th and final qualifiers. So, yeah, that's what we're going to leave you with now. And we'll see you back next week. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.